The story starts with a fight between two guys, started when the blonde put her mouth on the trombone. In aggressive morality, if you really think about a simple commoner, how can you defeat me? The flag of defeat was already trembling immediately. When the match rolled, the blonde tried to attack, shouting, "Pay attention, Lilith. Look at this fool who challenged me." Why did Sam humiliate himself in front of everyone? But the second was already on the floor, defeated by the black swordsman. That was Vince. To live, known as the noble villain. He was the type who lost the protagonist Alan, and lost everything from there. In the end, he turned the Demon King's shield and died. But with that, the main character I was playing also died. That's how he was reincarnated as the noble villain, Weiss Vincent, in that sinister environment. With a crying mine tied up in front of him, while Baz Vincent licked his lips. The protagonist, now in Baz's body, changed his face as soon as he was transported to this body. He couldn't take back what was going on, and he was a little bit in the void. Thinking, who? Where is he? What the fuck is going on? I was playing for many seconds behind, and out of nowhere, a woman was tied up in a middle position, right in front of me. The mind that looked for, well, everything is fine. The protagonist was grinding his teeth, thinking, what a beautiful whore girl. But I think I've seen this mind somewhere. And that name? Are you going, Vincent? He got scared. Wait there. Did I turn the noble villain? The abuser of Vice Vincent, undoubtedly. This is the villain of the school game in Blazablin. Vice Vincent, the game was a fantasy school role-playing game that had zero several times. This was the noble villain of the game. That hindered the protagonist Alan in the school arc. He was the lowest kind of worm, who used power to torture the weak pity. After receiving a beating from the protagonist, Vincent, who lost everything, became a servant of the Demon King. In the end, he turned to shield and died. When he realized that the bound mine was Lilith Scarlet, the maid of the house, he thought. Now that I remember, this guy's hobby was Sarah Lilith, right? What a crazy sicko. Why would I do this shit? It was worth the teeth. He spoke to himself. With such a cute girl. Let me untie this one of mine soon. But I was in doubt. If I change the behavior of anywhere, will it look weird? It seems that the mine is already suspicious, but I can't leave it at this. As she untied, she said, Lilith, her neck, she was very worried. Thinking, poor, so tremendous like that, Rhoda. Using his powers, he cast a healing spell on her. I was surprised, but the purple marks disappeared. I succeeded. Who is a Moki? This was the healing magic that the developers kept hidden, which you could use from the very beginning. Good thing I thought it was in the strategy book. She looked at him, and he, a little uncomfortable, explained, he doesn't misunderstand me. I just wanted to train the magic of healing. I didn't do it for you or anything. With her face closed and her eyes full of tears, she said, Thank you, Ves-Amma. You have me by surprise and completed. I didn't even know that you knew how to use healing magic, even though at first it's her fault, she was thanking. It seemed that Vincent had tightened the siege so much that he was obedient. With an ugly face, he looked at her and spoke. Lilith, sorry for everything so far. I promise I won't do that anymore. She has a confused expression. The scene moved to the dining room. The butler who put the dishes was Siba Zayden, the butler of the Vincent family. The guy thought that usually he was going to say that it was bad, and throw the plate on the floor, but when the protagonist called, he said, Siba's, so far I was wrong, treating the food on the basis of the joke. The seasoning is perfect today. Hearing this from the young teacher made the boy cry, saying that it was a great honor. Every employee had teary eyes, thinking, this young teacher is a ball show. The protagonist thought, just praise the food, brother. These guys are thinking that the Baz has grown up or that they are so emotional, that they did not even realize that he has changed, at least inside. He must have been really mean to Baz. When he opened the drawer, he thought, now I will do everything that I will not let these minds suffer. First, I'll get rid of this stick. Putting a stake in his hand, he thought, I have to change even more. As a noble, I am obliged to study at good gym at the age of 15. The entrance test was only 2 years from now. After losing the protagonist in the combat career, the deputy's fame began to collapse, and the crowd began to speak badly about him. But if I hadn't lost on that, the future might change. In this case, there is no other way. You have to go up. Burning the stick in his hand, he said, even if I have to give everything about myself, I will avoid the path of ruin. Sweating the damned, sitting on a tree with a sword in his hand, someone shouted loudly, calling was Milka Augusta. An adventurous rank, he said. Are you taking this seriously or is it a joke? The protagonist replied, I am, but I don't think I take it anymore. How about a break? She replied, I drew. Then rest on the right. This if you want to be called a loser as soon as you enter. He made an ugly face, but he had no way out. He began to swing the sword. I used the influence of my family to ask me for a fucking teacher. Bend your knees. Keep your wrists up. Adjust the posture. That's it, then it has to be. That was 1,000 you spent. Originally, he appeared at the end of the game, and was considered the strongest swordsman in the royal capital. Forget that I am noble and train without me, he said. But she was cruel and sad with Ursa. The maid Lilith called, Why, Sam? The item you ordered arrived. Thank you, Lilith. What is written there? She replied. It means that I will strive for death. In Blazablin is a game called Game of Death. A game of absurd difficulty that can only be reset several times. If he salutes in preparation, he was going to expulsion on time or worse. Not even a second could be wasted, but really, it was exhaustive for the fucker. Improving physical fitness was essential to learning the right sword and magic. The day started by practicing forms, then running until I couldn't bear to improve his breath. Followed by one hell of a muscle workout that went from morning to night, over and over again. The next day, the routine would not stop. In the evening, the butler spoke, as ordered by the young master, here's a menu full of proteins. Sorry for the inconvenience. I know he's busy, the protagonist replied. It had been 2 weeks since the training started. Injuries could be cured with magic, but taking care of the body's diet was also important. Thanks to the Sebas giving a firm support, I was managing to keep up the overwork. 3 weeks of training, it seemed that one day a month of so much suffering would be worth. But now, without realizing it, the sun had already set. As he finally got used to physical training, he decided to call the magic master. I'm also getting tired of Milky Sensei's rigid training. I hope the magic teacher is good. When the butler called her, he was in doubt. What kind of teacher will this be? A woman with a witch hat on her head said, Pleasure by Salma. When she took off her hat, he saw that it was $1,000 again. She introduced herself. And the protagonist, all 4 of them, banged his head on the floor, and spoke. No. She said. I am not only a master of the sword, but also a master of magic, pleasure again. Why do the same formation reappear? He called the butler. Hey Sebas, I asked to call a teacher good people. The butler replied. Milk is a cool sword, that mans 2 of the 4 main magical attributes. Did you know that? She looked at him with a smile and spoke. Do you want me to be nice? I was all happy. Serious. She smiled. Can you go with me? I'm a professional, right? But these were just empty words. She shouted, Don't close your eyes. Hand, channel more magic, fucking. I was under a waterfall, rolling my eyes, talking, where's your kindness? See, this isn't even heavier than sword training, is it? She replied. Keep 2 more hours, my brother, to use magic. You need mana. And the only way to increase this mana is to train on the run every day. Then repeat it there until you pass out. Not even the stick, said the main character, who was already falling hard. Lilith was pulling her body out of the water. From that day on, in addition to the basic magic training, he also started training with wooden swords. He took a few hits, it hurt, and he fell to the ground. The instructor said, You're still full of loophole, brother. Of course, Lilith always healed him when he was injured. She was talking, I will support you with healing magic too, so come back, wife Sam. He replied, Thank you very much, Lilith. Milk said, See. I think I took a good punching bag now. For the character who was making fun of the floor, that seemed strange. How can someone as lazy as me be able to scratch so much? In the past life, I was like a living zombie. I ran when it was time to face the shit. I put my hand down, I surrendered. How am I irritating like this, firm and strong now? What was the difference from my past life for now? It had been 2 months since this devil device started, and it was already a little conditioned. When the instructor patted him on the head, she was red and happy, talking, You got it in 2 hours. This is a great progress. The main character was also happy. She pointed to her hand and said, "That's what you meant by teaching in the morning, that's it," and she said, "Every time you reach a goal, I pat you." He said, "I feel that the ratio between the whip and the carrot is a little wrong. The training is heavy, but the reward is decreasing." She replied, "Not at all, you go." Then he came to Lilith, a little surprised, bringing a ramp to him, with a cute face, pouting. She was beautiful. Milk said, "I'm just holding the whip. Look, you may have already received a lot of carrots from others. Don't forget that you have the rolled carrot that supports you to make an effort." She looked at Lilith, who had no idea why that look. "I drew. The best I can do is to thank everyone. Lilith, who always supported me on the side. Sebas, who kept me fed. And Mix-sensei, who hardened my heart so that I would grow up. Without the help of the guys, I wouldn't have come here." The self of the past thought only of itself. Then no one would support me and no one charged me. What I really needed was a mix of sweet and cold love. From now on, I will no longer live just for me. I don't want to die. I don't want to fuck with myself. That was my goal for me. But now it's to make Lilith and the crowd that helped me to be proud, and show my strength to the general. He got up talking. For me and for everyone, I will avoid the path of destruction. Another day, another workout from hell. His face said it all. The next goal was 4 hours. Go to die, Milky-sensei said, apparently, regardless of his support. I was still fucking around to survive. The scene moved to a city, Lahage Bell Town, the first city that the protagonist arrives in the game. He heard people fighting, shouting, "He won't move with me, they cling." He thought security was the same shit as always. He asked Milky-sensei, who was on his side, who the opponent was. I had already spent 3 months of training. It seemed like the right time. He had been assigned to take a practical test in that city. Terrified, looking at Milk-sensei who was always cold, but he smiled once. I knew I was fucked. "Relax, go," he said. "I'm thinking about choosing the best opponent for you. It's waiting." The limit was happy, talking, fighting. "You'll win." But the main character was tremendous. "Not even well, you." Some people looked at them, talking. "Look at these guys there. There's a hot mine there. I enjoyed this little one. He's my type." Sounds crazy street, calling the character in a touched child, taking some beautiful mines. Lilith was speechless. The character thought, "You better call what they say, this mine next to me will literally tear you apart." League Bindum was considered the worst city, a den of bandits. Regardless of Milky-sensei, I have to protect Lilith at any cost, she thought. Lilith said these guys are really boring. The character was a little confused or surprised by him. Milky-sensei spoke. "Ignore, Lilith. They don't deserve our attention." "It's true," Lilith replied, all excited. The character was mute, thinking, I'm feeling Lilith's vanity. Was it just my impression? They observed a building, an adventurers' guild, full of brute bandits, magicians and others. The character was named after some bricks. "Come on out, kid." They were the Bold Brothers, their opponents. Milk-sensei explained, rape, robbery, kidnapping, murder, slave trade. Their crimes are scary. They had been protected until today with bribes. But the military police who accepted bribes have already been arrested. Now it's just with these 3 brothers. They are very criminal. There is no need to hold your hand. They are the perfect opponents for a real fight. Okay. Peace. The character replied, "Okay, let's take his hand." Then he tried to escape, but with this monster to the side. How was I going to get it? He said, "Listen. You are very anxious, but 0 actual combat experience. Real combat is a path that you will have to face anyway. Then it is better to face soon. If you miss this opportunity in the next real match, I do not guarantee that I will take care of you behind it now." He may end up facing his first real fight alone. And there have been many people who died due to lack of experience. But now I'm here with you. If things get tight, help. Enter your first real fight with confidence. He had tears in his eyes, calling Lil Ki Sensei that a reassuring person. But, of course, she disappeared and the 3 brothers captured him. He got scared, shouting, Where are you, Derry? Shit, this teacher cheated on me. What do you mean? She comes with confidence, she disappeared together with Lilith. I tried these guys because they were supporting me. Said one of the brothers, let's go to the alley. Holy shit, what do I do now? There is no way to withdraw just because I am afraid. I can only prepare myself. The goal is to cut off their arms, not kill, but it's 3 against 1. I don't even know if I want a fair fight. And on top of that, these guys look like children, but they are skilled. If they drag me to the alley, the fight will start. Do you like it or not? I need to ramp up a plan before that. By the way, before provoking these guys, Miyuki-sensei had spoken. Follow what I taught you. If you do that, everything will be fine. Meanwhile, Milk-sensei and Lilith were watching him from the bar a few meters away. Lilith said, "Do you think you're cheating on me, Milk-sensei? You're cruel." Mil replied, "If I don't do that, he won't be motivated. You know, the training that assumes someone will help isn't real training, is it? Relax. If he's really ugly, I'll help him." She slept on the table. Lilith knew what was going to happen. They were in a tight space, with a lot of pros, and behind Lilith. They talked. He's not the kid I've seen in the city early. Limit looked back with an empty look as they approached. Speaking, "Wow, she is very beautiful, Karaka, what a perfect timing. We are a bunch of thieves you send here. We missed some mines to enjoy today, we were tense." Many girls were kidnapped by these monsters. Lilith, for some reason, turned into a beast with a dark expression. And in the next scene, blood sneezes. But it wasn't Lilith, it was the main character. When the 2 brothers looked back, they saw the hands of the 3rd brother cut off. The guy screamed when the protagonist was holding the sword in his hand. He looked back and drew what the teacher had taught him. Seal first, twice. The most important thing in a fight is to surprise the opponent. The first hit that catches the other for a discount is worth more than any attack. Even a master of magic falls and hits himself before setting the right barrier. Even a fight master dies, and his neck is broken before he gets ready. In short, move before the opponent. But the protagonist was in a brava pool now. Because the 2 brothers came in morals to him. He kicked the face of one, while the other broke with a machete in his hand. The protagonist drew the sword. I had always finished to make a decision. Thinking I was going to find a way tomorrow. But time does not solve anything, and if what had been done had already been done, was already defined, then from now on, I would have to decide in seconds. With absurd violence, he cut off the hands of his 2nd brother in order to survive. The 3 brothers were defeated. Total success, he said, with the sweats running down his face. If he had entered the alley, they would pump with mana and increase the defense. If all 3 of them had been ready for the fight at the same time, he would have no chance of victory. I won because I moved in the face of the enemy. Someone behind spoke. Maximum points. It was none other than Lilith and Milk-sensei. Maximum points. I wanted to say that, but it's only 70 points. The man, if he had in his place, would have already cut off an arm within the Adventurers Guild. This is the proactive way, Milk-sensei said. The limit was all happy, as expected from Bayama. To me, that's worth 200 points. The protagonist called both of them. Highs, why did they disappear out of nowhere? Miyuki-sensei laughed and spoke. It went wrong, the protagonist was imprisoned when he noticed blood on Lilith's clothes. Lilith, is the blood on your clothes? She hid and didn't say anything, it's her imagination. Inside the bar where Lilith was, the kidnapped girls and the bartender looked horrified. All the henchmen had been brutally neutralized. More than 20 members of the infamous robber gang were arrested after that. No one died, but the bad guys were beaten to the point that they couldn't even talk. In fact, the infamous Bold brothers were also arrested, with the help of Miss Vincent. Someone commented, "Putz, this Vincent is as it seems a sinister role in the story." The protagonist was in doubt. Zip's gun, what stop is this? After that, a thank you letter and a gift of money arrived for the Vincent family. Another day, another hell of a workout. Absurd growth of the protagonist. It was 1.5 years that the training had started. Miyuki-sensei, watching outside, thought, day after the heavy training day as usual, running out of energy, and passed out due to mana fatigue. The protagonist felt something when a trunk fell on his head. He broke it with a blow. These stopped happening for him. He had been strong for hell, and Milk Sensei was proud. Now I can feel the enemy's presence through the walls. I feel the mana flowing through my body. I think I've grown up a lot, he thought. Butler asked. So, master, the magic training is going well. It's okay, yes it's going well, the protagonist said. But I'll talk, Milky Sensei's Spartan-style training is too angry. The four elements of fire, water, wind and earth have something to train everything in the same footprint. Even the butler was shocked. Seriously, Miyuki-sensei is a demon. This person is much worse than the brothers I captured before. The butler was afraid just to see Milky-sensei's smile. He said, the reason why Milky makes Sama suffer like this is because Sama's talent is unusual. Usually, magic is one item per person. Even for rank adventurers like Milk, you can only use 2 items. But the young master can use all 4 elements. That's a rare talent for the fucker. Butler thought that if Sam had continued to be gentle, this talent would not have flourished. Before facing his distraction, but I never expected him to be so dedicated, and not give up. To reach this level is admirable, young master. The protagonist shouted loudly, it was bad there, he doesn't hate me, please. Limit entered the middle of his Milky Sensei, talking, stop breaking his nose with the wooden sword. It's already boring. Miyuki Sensei said, you've been practicing the hidden magic of me, right? He replied, it was bad, show me a little. She said, well, and when the protagonist used the light attribute and the dark attribute, the special elements in addition to the 4 normal palettes speak. Why did you hide it from us? He replied, he wanted to show only after being complete. Actually, it's still incomplete. Incomplete? She asked. Yes, I haven't taken the path yet, but I think I can now. Combining magic with light and darkness. This is my original magic. Now that you've seen it. This is the perfection that I will show today. In a giant mansion, in the middle of the night, there was a party, someone yawned. It was the protagonist, Lilith, who was with him, talked, and then, Sam, he was up late. It was, he replied. It was bad that I didn't match up at that place anymore, wasn't it? She replied. Oh, are you tired of yesterday's show? He said, no, it happened. After that, I used my original magic, which I could complete. Magic of light, healing magic. Dark magic, poisonous curse magic, black mist. The magic that brings these 2 together is dark healing. Automatically heals allies in a certain area and at the same time, deals curse damage to it. Enemy that I recognize, although he has achieved this technique. The mana spending was crazy and I finished later. I need more training to increase my mana capacity. He told you. Then why, Sam, to wake you up, I'll have a strong drink. Hey, wait there. This is the half. She came out quickly, with a movement so agile that the nobleman thought. Killer agile movement. He heard that he had hidden guard in the Vincent family, but he did not believe much. Someone called him from behind, Baz. When he turned around, it was a girl he had seen before. Do you remember her? If not, it makes no difference. This is Cynthia, daughter of Countess Violet. She looked at a beautiful shiny hair and beautiful red eyes. There is no doubt. She was the main protagonist of the game, Cynthia Bay Elite. She smiled and talked, how long? She goes, with a mischievous smile. She continued that was, with the face of one who has just crushed a leprechaun, and turning the mud soup. The protagonist has an ugly face. Yes, Baz was hated by the general, all the characters in the game. And Cynthia was the one who hated the V-Zamas in the story. And the one who made my body full of holes was herself. As a member of the family, he had to show his face right there. I shouldn't have gotten into a ruckus with these people. He never imagined that he would bump into Cynthia before entering the school. Calm down, it's still before entering the school. I haven't done anything yet because Cynthia hates myself, but then came the memory of the vast past. In old memories, I couldn't even understand what I was going to do, I barely remembered. But he realized what the past of the past tried to do with Cynthia. With a closed face, he said, I have not forgotten what happened at that moment. How do you have to appear the wooden face at this party? This is the worst. What the hell did this crazy Baz do to hate me so much that I feel like I could die from it? He thought. The protagonist bowed 490 degrees, and said, I can only apologize from the heart. I'm sorry, Lady Cynthia. It was all my fault. An attitude that does not match a noble. I'm so sorry. Maybe I can't even be forgiven. But Cynthia was not so cruel that she arrested someone who really regretted it. I understood. I would be grateful if it would decrease the chances of my downfall a little. For now, that's all I can do. I have to find the right time to get out of here quickly. When he tried to lose weight, someone took his hand. It was Cynthia Boletta. She looked at him somehow. Bag, but then Lilith, who had just brought some drinks. Seeing him holding Cynthia's hand, Lilith put her knee in place and spoke. If you don't mind, would you like to dance with me? While everyone was dancing, you could see all three of them in the scene. Lilith had a dark and tense face, like a bad mood. The protagonist was all red, not understanding what was happening or what to do. Cynthia spoke, the mood is massive, right? Refreshing tea time. The birds are singing. The protagonist agreed. Yes, the birds are really singing. That all came from that moment, which started that night, when he spoke, if you didn't mind. I want to dance with me. He had met Cynthia by chance, and I do not know why he was invited to a formal with her. She said, she has the face of those who did not understand anything. Actually, I know that you have changed a lot. She was flushed red on her face. It seems that Cynthia was already linked in her daily training to get into the gym. Probably because of the rumors among the noble crowd or something. She continued, so you said you don't remember that day, right? He was a little slow in this story of the attack they tried against him. He said, it's about it. I don't even know how to apologize well. While they were dancing, she asked me, did you also forget that you said you liked it? The protagonist did not understand correctly, but he was red while the crowd applauded. She said, God, the dance is over, right? What a disappointment, see you again, go, Vincent. After that, Cynthia stole his heart that day and left. But that wasn't the end of the story. All this was seen by the father of the protagonist, adieu Vincent. A letter arrived from his father. What? Why? A dinner with Cynthia at home. Wait, what does that mean? Are you coming today? You say she's already outside. It was well connected, with a bad feeling while they were preparing everything to receive the guests. I gave orders to all the servants. Cynthia was a bit good, thinking, Vaisama's father's letter has something else inside of it. This led them to the current situation. He thought that old suitcase. Which stop is this what you are thinking about? Honestly, I'm happy to be able to have one with Cynthia Viola, someone from my outfit, but I can't get to her much. In the original plan, Cynthia would end up with the protagonist Alan. If he gets close to Cynthia, the stops they'll be shooting with Alan won't happen. If the future changes, he's been biting his teeth, thinking, if the future changes, I won't be able to act on the script anymore. Even Alan's winning the test could change the future. But taking the lead from him would form his script from now on. He thought it will be bad if she hates me, and it will also be bad if she likes me too much. I have to keep a perfect distance. Cynthia. Hey, why, Sam? She said. You already said that you fell in love with me at first sight. I forgot that too. The protagonist looked at his memory. At that time, everything was nothing, and you said a little arrogant. That's why I enjoyed myself a little bit. But if you apologize in a sincere way, until I don't care, you know. She turned red in front of him. The two stared at each other for a while. The protagonist was almost dying inside. His soul was taken, without understanding anything that was happening. He thought that this mind looks so noble, but there is a child who scares me. The moment he thought it would be bad if she liked him, it happened. Thinking about the second place, in the original story, the speed that fell in love with the protagonist was a bit unusual, right? Cynthia is a soft heart, but this is bad for me. When she falls in love, she becomes loyal, really clingy. I have to decrease how much she likes me, but she seems to have passed the point and is almost obsessed. She said, your white side is cute, Mel. Peace, my sympathy for you is to increase alone, doing nothing. Lilith appeared behind him, scaring the protagonist almost to death. She asked, do you want one more? Why? Sam thanked her, thinking, that shit. I let out a pathetic moan, but that can be good. If she hears this unpleasant moan, my points with her will drop. But she found Linda, and said, because Sam is very cute. He thought this mine is lost, I have to do something fast. Lily called you and therefore, completed you. You know what you're going through today for your dad, right? He didn't understand anything. She explained. This is the story of our commitment. It seems that today's dinner is to introduce ourselves, although it was something decided by our parents. After talking to you today, I decided to accept it. Our engagement, the protagonist spoke low. Having his tea, the scene moved to an open park with knife noises. Someone said, "Hey, what a boring son, right?" The vase looks at me in appearance. Beautiful, but a little shy at these stops. He finally got the chance to dance with the famous Lady Cynthia. Anyway, Weiss's engagement to Lady Cynthia. I've already taken attitude, and solved the problem without blinking. That idiot vase could be happy so far. Were they playing in the playground? The security guard asked. You're doing this with your son's approval, aren't you, sir? He replied. I'm his father. I know what he just wants to look at his face. Stop complaining, and help me with the operation of the tunnel. Yes, sir. At the protagonist's house, it was time for Lady Cynthia to leave. How fucked up is this commitment? He shouted at the father. Next to him was Cynthia, who delivered the letter. Wait, my dad not only scored a small T, but an engagement with Cynthia. It is common in noble families for the parents to decide their marriage partners, but this is not that arranged political marriage. It seems that he made this deal with his Viola family just to make his son happy. Her father barely appeared in the original story, and didn't even come home, so she didn't know what kind of father she had. But he seemed like the father who spoils his son too much, and would do anything to him. The protagonist thought, I think I finally understood the main reason why Weiss turned this noble villain. Cynthia, with an emotional look, called his name and shouted, Please be happy with the guitar. Why, Sam? I didn't understand anything while she was running at full speed. He thought. She's too fast. No, wait, what are you taking with her? Out of nowhere, Mick-sensei arrived. She said, Today's training mission is to run after Lilith. She didn't understand anything. Baz, do you know why Lilith was crying? It's because the guy she supports a year and a half ago was suddenly taken by a girl who appeared out of nowhere. Even if this engagement was not her decision, I will not let her ignore that Lilith is sad about it. Back to the mansion with Lilith. If not, there will be punishment of death. The protagonist said that he did run after her. If you have it, then go soon. Malik, she screamed. He thought. Yes, that's it. Lilith has always been by my side. There's no way this engagement hasn't been surprised. Not to mention, I owe it to his debt. If she hadn't supported me, I'd still be a bum. The reason I was able to work hard is because of Lilith. He shouted. Lilith, wait please. When he tried to communicate with her, he sped up and spoke. Leave me alone, please. He said. It's killing me, even running towards the fucker. Why can't I get you? She jumped on one side into a small river, while he was behind, asking to hear him. She replied, It's okay, it's okay. Sama. There is no way. I'm just a maid. After all, he shouted, you are not just a maid. You are someone precious to me. This commitment was my father's decision. It wasn't something I chose. Lilith, do you know this offer of the service system at the Brass Magic Gym? There in the gym where I'm going to enter, only high nobility guys can have a servant. And look there, as an exception, I plan to take you because I trust you in the lot. With teary eyes, he looked back and said, I trust more. Continued. So, that's why you're looking for me, why the summer, tired of the rush, replied. That's why I'm doing this. She said, You'll run for me forever, won't you? As he was descending the stairs, he, looking and panting, thought, No, he will not give. I won't be able to be conscious for a long time. That's all. It's true. He came up and said, It's on, isn't it? If you insist so much, then from now on, I will own you by Sama. She stopped, but he was flying off a cliff ahead, almost falling. He realized and jumped, without even calling his own life. She hugged him. They both fell into the forest. She said, You can rest easy, wife. Sam, I'll do my best. We got involved in this shit. This will never get out of here. She blushes, he added. It's a secret love. Well, they both fell into the water. That's how he got engaged to Cynthia and started the affair with Lilith. The scene moved to a black-haired boy who said beauty while breaking a stone. It's time now. The entrance test. This was the original protagonist of the game, totally ready for the race. The main character thought that in recent days, a lot of things have happened. And somehow he was engaged to Cynthia and became Lilith's secret lover. All this confusion was so crazy that I couldn't understand anything. Thank you, Father, for complicating everything like this. When you come back from the diplomatic mission, be prepared that I will piss you off. Milk Sensei called Beauty. Let's stop the basic training here and go for the practical fight. Ladies Cynthia and Lilith, have you ever struggled in your life? Cynthia replied, of course already. Lilith too. Yes, and that's it. The protagonist was a small bastard. Lilith. She was sweating on her face. He thought that, speaking of complications, there is one more thing. Lilith and Synth entered the training to prepare for the entrance test that rolls in a few months. It seems that the two of them asked Milk Sensei to train beside me as well. Cynthia already has a lot of ability to pass well. As for Lilith, I planned that she was just my assistant. So I didn't even need to take the test, but she also wanted to help her studies, so I let her do it for me. Technically, neither of us needed training. Or rather, if Cynthia, which is guaranteed, tries even harder, she can be even stronger than in the original game. Nuke threw a sword for the protagonist, calling his name. He took the sword, and she said first that you will fight Cynthia. The two were face to face, looking into each other's eyes. Just because she's his girlfriend, she doesn't keep him holding her hand. Well, Cynthia added. It wasn't supposed to be showing point. I was a little embarrassed. And he said, go with everything. They face each other and Lilky Sensei spoke. I trust you understand that you don't even have to say start, right? He didn't understand much, but Cynthia Viola has already left, attacking. His heavy attack left him in trouble. She had a bright appearance as he spread his teeth. A lot of pressure emanated from the floor. Mil Sensei said, I didn't warn, the most important thing in a fight is the first move, right? Even Cynthia commented. Why you? He realized that she was gone. Something rolled, and his eyes were glowing with dark energy. He retreated when Cynthia was behind him. She was very surprised by that. Cynthia was into ice magic. His move was to infuse his legs with magic, to move quickly like skating. He prepared to counterattack. In the next second, she shouted, I am frustrated. I have fought at home several times. But this is the first time someone dodged my attack so easy. She had a rooster on her head, and Lilith was trying to heal her. Cynthia thanked Lilith, who spoke quietly, no problem. She asked, Hey Weiss, how did you read Cynthia's quick move? She is very fast. Milky Sensei, an interest rate, said. Let's see if it was just luck or not. Now you will fight with Lilith. What? Already am I fighting again? I'm not that tired, no. Stop complaining, and go with everything, Milk said. He replied, Okay, Beauty, but he thought, no, it doesn't happen to fight Lilith, who is just a maid, or at least that's what I thought. But I had seen his movements, several movements that are nothing of a servant. If I unload the guard here, I think I will. And he was right. Why did he disappear? A trembling tremor rolled to the ground as he struggled at an absurd and almost divine speed. He used the dark energy on his eyes again and blocked one by one of his attacks. She tried to attack once more, but her sword was blocked. Miyuki-sensei was impressed. Then you can see Lilith's movements. It seems that seeing Lady Cynthia's quick movement was not luck. What's going on here? In the original game, Lilith was just a vice wizard, almost without a screen. I never thought she was so strong. She had just started learning magic, but his speed is much higher than mine. Besides, she also understands the sword. If I don't take it seriously, I will lose. He formed a ball of dark energy in his hand and used his original spell, Dark Healing, limiting the thought. This is the original magic of Baisama, an ability that heals allies within the magic circle, while dealing curse damage to enemies. He felt he needed to get out of the circle quickly. No, Isama temporarily freed the wooden sword to cast the magic with both hands, and was totally vulnerable. This is my chance. Even if I listen to the circle now, since I can only fight up close, I'll end up getting attacked if I don't come out with magic. This is my only chance. She ran over him, saying, I will enjoy this rape. The protagonist got up, gave a mischievous smile, and in a snap, a barrier appeared between them, stopping the wooden sword in place. She jumped back, not understanding what happened. The sword goes cold. Good, he said, holding her up. This is the absolute barrier, my original magic, that brings together the permanence of the magic of darkness with the protection of the magic of light. Besides, there is this magic that I use, the Eye of Darkness. Even if my body can't keep up with Lilith's speed, using the Dark Eye, with the absolute barrier, I can defend myself from their attacks while my mana lasts. Milk Sensei asked Lilith. So, which one is yours? What are you going to do? Lilith was tense. Did you notice anything? Milk sent the protagonist to cancel the quick magic. Lilith was on the floor, unconscious. The Milk and the protagonist ran to her. It was a total defeat. Why, Sam? She said. Coming back to you. I'm sorry. All right, he asked. Milk said. I gave him an advanced potion. It'll be good. It was really good. It was a very rare potion, you know. More importantly, what magic did you use? He knew that she drained energy, but he did not imagine that Lilith would fall in seconds. Did you have any other effect on this magic? Elsie answered, the magic of the Dark Cure. When the opponent enters the magic circle, it causes physical weakness, reduced vigor, decreased vitality, mana drain, drop in magic defense, reduced physical damage, decreased attack speed and movement. Since Lilith still has small mana reserves, I think that's why her mana ended quickly, and she fainted. But I'm the opposite. I can take all the stats that enemies steal, and add my strength, getting stronger. The more enemies they have inside the circle, the stronger I get. If you recognize someone as an ally, I can also give him this upgrade. He said so good that he forgot to look at the face he was listening to. Everyone was amazed. Not only amazed, but completely mesmerized. He thought, I've already received the offer. Is this the right time to release this? What is it? Do you want to know? Of course I want, brother, that classic phrase that everyone dreams of speaking after reincarnating in a parallel world. I've always wanted to send this one. It's a gentle thing to say, isn't it? He took a deep breath, but stopped in time. Miyuki-sensei spoke, duel with me. He looked at her, already seeing his own coffin. She continued. Imagine, you grew up so much. I've had a long time that I'm not so sad. I want you to take responsibility for this. Use this power of yours to calm me down. In morale, he already knew that he had stepped on the ball, and was destroyed on the spot. Cynthia and Lilith went into the heavy training, maintaining Milk Sensei's Spartan routine every day. While the unlocked of his role with both was still in the biggest zika. Before he knew it, the days and months flew by in the blink of an eye. Finally, the big day has arrived at Noble's Magic Academy, which has the largest campus in the world, the best school in the kingdom, that everyone wants to enter. The entrance test starts today. Then someone screamed, and then, you fool, what the hell are you looking at? It was the original protagonist, Alan, who replied. I thought you were a great mill. No, it didn't even seem that way to me. The great man replied, then that's what you were doing. He tried to punch, but the protagonist stopped on the spot, and threw a look that didn't even need a word. The big man complained. Oh, who do you think he is? Friend, the crowd from behind commented. Look there, Weiss. That famous abusive abuse. Looking at Cynthia and Lilith, they thought. Then the mine who is with him, must be Lady Cynthia, from Boletta House. Then the tokens of the engagement were real. But what about the other cat? Show up for the test with 2 minds of that level. The kid is another level. Myself. The big guy, realizing that he was from the noble house of Mallows Vincent, has already fallen to the floor, asking for forgiveness. Please, anything but abuse. I'm too sorry. The protagonist thought. For nay, I'm not doing this to anyone, not even to you. He'll disappear from here soon. When the big guy ran out, Vaz thought, I had a lot of time since I was reincarnated. But it seems that the fame of the Vaz still sucks and very firm. I have to be good, winning in general slowly, and changing the view of the crowd. It's been 2 years since I started my training. And finally, we arrived on the day of the entrance test of Noblesse Magic Academy. I have to defeat a specific guy today. The boy was behind me talking. Thank you, you really saved me. It was Alan acting for the lead. He said, "You're smart, aren't you? Let's do our best. I hope you both come through." He came closer. The protagonist looked at her, and just as she was going to squeeze, the bell rang and cut off the mood. Lilith said. The warning bell rang. Cynthia completed. The test will begin. Bora, Alan, we have to run to. The girl next to Alan spoke. True. When did they leave? Alan asked. By the way, where are the Duke and Cheryl? They were moving on as he was going to shoot with this crowd. The protagonist looked at her and thought. What feeling was this now? He hesitated to take Alan's hand. Just talking to him has already affected a strange, almost unbearable bad feeling. Why will it be? He didn't understand. It's not that I didn't like Alan, because my goal today is to beat him in the race, but after that, I plan to have a good chat on morals, keeping my distance of course. The announcer announced, for the practical combat test. Everyone trades for these clothes here. They are handmade hobbies made by former students. They help to decrease magic damage and physical attack. The protagonist felt his heart tighten, a hard feeling. I couldn't control my chest pounding hard, and that discomfort for some reason. I need to defeat him. Cross without pity. Not just him, but everyone here. He thought. Upon that she gave birth, what is happening to me? The announcer explained. The winner is the one who takes the other out of the rhino, makes him give up. I will also intervene if it is too dangerous. Does anyone have any doubts? The big man complained, this clothes so small. The instructor replied, he was supposed to have complained earlier. Another one said mine is small too and a bit stinky. The instructor said, I said, don't complain now. Are you too big? Really, it's only 15. If it happens, they get new uniforms in the right size, take it for now. He told Cynthia. Still, it's amazing that they have managed to prepare clothes for everyone here. This already makes us feel that he really entered. Cynthia explained, is that many students dropped their clothes and disappeared. They say that life after entering here is hell. The limit was worried and so was the protagonist, but for different reasons. Noblesse Magic Academy is the most respected and cruel school in the kingdom. The one who does not follow is expelled in time. The classes are so heavy that there are people who don't even get out alive, throwing away their clothes because they don't even want to remember. He thought getting in wasn't even that hard. Even the original Sloth managed to get through. The rain began to fall slowly outside, and the announcer called. The next are 90 Jine, Vincentiva, and 97, Alan. The protagonist and the original protagonist faced each other. Some students complained. It's raining heavy now. The instructor said there's no way. Those who are not fighting, go to the stands. While getting ready, someone commented. It looks like the rain is hitting here. Alan said. I never thought I would face you in this mock battle. Let's make a good fight. Better not to lose. His childhood friends talked. To see, Cynthia and Lily encouraged you. Good luck. Go there, Sam. The referee announced. So let's start this mock battle. There are no minutes of fighting, and the protagonist was crushing Alan like a demon. She used her original spell, the Black Heel, torturing him to the end. Alan screamed like crazy. Childhood friends were traumatized and Lilith and Cynthia were shocked. Even the referee was losing energy. The protagonist thought, a bitch who gave birth, as I thought, you can't hold on. This desire to crush him is burning hard. The referee, protected by the protagonist, thought, what is this? Since before, what feeling is this? Wait there, right. He's very good. The referee spoke, Baz, is that for you? Is it because of the feelings you have inside? With Baz's blow and his way, the general was afraid, or rather traumatized. After the tests, at a round table with 3 people, someone asked him, what did they do with Bad Vincent? It was 1,000 that you spend, and the butler wanted Zayden, both without speech. The old man said, who would say that Babe felt that they broke all the records of the trials. I wanted to know who created it. This was Gilles, director of Nobly's Magic Academy. She asked, what do you think about this child with these dangerous powers? The butler got out of the reaction. And milk too. The Duke next door spoke. Director, I need to talk. It was Darius, the gym instructor. He said that although Baz has the highest degree ever, He technically didn't break any records. Did you forget the student who entered last year? It is. You took that mine first, didn't you? Always with details. The thousand who said, Director, I didn't do much combat, I just gave him basic training. The butler, me too, I just helped with the meals, and gave a lot of protein. Remember when the protagonist asked for that protein? Which stop is this? The instructor ran out of speech, then nervously, banging on the table. Don't fill me up. In addition to the 4 main attributes, he mastered the magic of creation, light and darkness. There's no way to get it from that. Miyuki-sensei, drinking alcohol, said. Look, I don't know what to say. Why are you drinking now? In front of the director, on top of that, who gave him the drink. She fell asleep because of that. The butler gave him the coat, talking. It looks like he brought it on his own. Put on the grill, the director said. Darius, find a way, brother. Milky has always been like that, right? The instructor responded. I know, but that's too heavy for the child. Alan, he almost died because Weiss Vincent Brad gave him a beam. Alan is one of the guys I trained, he has an unusual talent, which serves him teeth. He shouted, this guy will be bad, brother. Miyuki-sensei said. Will you be talking about all this shit, even on the battlefield? Envy is not right in Ningen Darius. He had a sinister face, mild danger. The two of them started a big shit. Butler put on the voice. Is it coming? They're both stopping now. Director, it seems that you are enjoying the entrance of Bama, but you can easily rest. Isama would never use her power against the weak. He changed. Instead of being dominated by his own strength, now really plates to become a strong and brave guy. A true god among men. Cynthia, the protagonist, and Lilith were accepted, and the classes started. The teacher said, First, congratulations on registration, guys, I am Chloe, and I will be responsible for this class. I hope I can teach you. He was Chloe's instructor from the academy at Blast Magic. Welcome. There were a lot of people, and the protagonist, Lilith and Cynthia, were ready. But someone looked with an ugly face for them. It was Alan looking. The protagonist remembered, on the day of the exam, I managed to defeat Alan. At that moment, Weiss' emotions took hold of me and almost killed him. But no matter how much I fell, the guy always got up stronger. In the end, I won Wasp, but it took a lot longer than I imagined to overthrow him. It was as if I had learned what it means to be a true protagonist. The teacher cracked her fingers, and something appeared in front of the protagonist's eyes, surprising her and the other students. A light was shining, showing 1,000 dots. The teacher said, Is this the value that each one received? A student asked, Points. What is that? She explained that these points will accompany him until graduation. Now everyone has 1,000 points. But from the test result, the value he received is 2,000. Everyone came to the face, not knowing what to think about him having 2,000 points. One came and said, So, as a note, right, it's not a bit heavy to bend your stitches and leave the crowd in the slipper. What stop is this? Teacher, explain right there. She straightened her glasses, while the protagonist looked back and spoke, instead of explaining only in speech. I think it will be easier for you to understand in practice. Everyone takes a wooden sword, and we go to the training ground. But I never said I was going to guarantee graduation. They weren't just surprised, they were ball. Beauty, today, we will fight to the points of someone 0. In a tense mood outside the gym, Mink-sensei was drinking a Verita. Having defeated several thieves who are now his servants, he thought. Ever since Bath was going to the gym, every day is a bit empty, you know. He turned red and spoke. Beauty, I think I'm going to kill time by taking Professor Akina's leave at Blasmagic Academy. A storm was coming. The scene changed to the classroom, where someone was trying to get close to the protagonist. You're smart, aren't you? I'm Lucio's. I saw your training match. It was sensational. They say it was the highest score of all time. This bright and beautiful guy wanted to get with the protagonist, while Cynthia and Lilith looked at him. This was Lucius Minson, a main character in the original story, with excellent grades who graduated at the top of the class. But now Lucius was a 0 point. Totally defeated. Said the teacher. I didn't listen. Lucius Vincentes expelled. The protagonist thought. Who was his opponent? None other than Alan, who destroyed the guy. In the gym cafeteria, the protagonist was sitting with a plate of delicious food. Thought, bitch who gave birth. And now he was trying to make the script as good as possible, and avoid unnecessary actions besides defeating Alan. To keep the original story intact like this. But now, the main heroine has become my girlfriend, in a crazy way. This is even tasty. Lilith and Lucius, who should stay until graduation, left on the first day. Everything is turning into a crazy chaos. And what's crazy is still the dark emotions of the original MP inside my head. Since I met Alan, my MP is having me aggressive, not only against Alan, but with everyone who is close to him. I should be great, gain their trust and act slowly, but now I can't help but want to crush everyone, one by one. If I give in to these feelings and start hurting them, I will be hated, just like the original story. Someone asked, do you want to crush everyone? It was none other than Cynthia Boletta. She said, if that's what you really want, I'm fine. Surprised, he asked, you're not even reacting to what I said. She replied, this is the Magic Academy of Noblesse, remember. This is so. He was speechless. She continued, honestly, I was a little worried about you. You've always been too good in a world where he's killing or dying, he can't have mercy on opponents. But after seeing how you struggled in the test, I began to see you the opposite. He was silent. The cook interrupted. There is a lot of cake here still. Girl, do you want one more? Cynthia said. Oh no, I'm fine, thank you. Lilith said the same thing. The world of competition is cruel. If we decide to enter, it has to be as brutal as. But in the end, doing what we want is what is worth. I'll support you, okay. The protagonist took his name, but the cook spoke again. You're not hungry yet, are you? There's a lot of cake, you know. Lily answered you. No thanks. Cynthia, since she's my girlfriend, she at least has to have blood in her, to bring everyone down. She was happy, thanking both of them who smiled at her. Talking to them helped lighten the ideas. I don't know if I can accept all this quickly, no. The cook was still trying to finish his dish. He said. Or is it Isama, if she doesn't even decide, do you have the idea of the boy or the crown? He replied. I understood. Going out with luck is also an option. The script is already a bit of an image. If I don't know what will happen from now on, maybe I'll stop thinking, and let the currency decide everything. But before taking the result, shouted the cook, I get capricious here, so eat everything. The coin rolled to the end of the cafeteria. Surprised, he saw the castle of the kingdom in the front, and a dragon, symbol of the strongest, in the back. He thought, if you clash, I fight this impulse to avoid chaos, and the effort to get along with Alan. If it's Corona, it's the opposite. The coin stopped, fell, and someone caught. It was none other than Alan. He handed over the protagonist and said, you dropped him. Then he completed it. It was bad for the delay in compliments, but as you can see, I also managed to sign up. Even after taking such a beating. I'm happy really. Because I wanted to see you again. In fact, I wanted to fight with you again. I think this is more correct, right? The protagonist smiled, taking the coin. I got it, Alan. It seems that the dragon came out, and decided that you will be crushed. While this rivalry was rolling, someone appreciated the cook's request for more food, and even had a tear in his eye. On the battlefield, the protagonist was destroying the general one by one. The master said, he has already given, Chris. A girl lying on the platform was ejected. Another guy, sweating, tried to attack but he was cut in half, I don't know. And Gustavo was also expelled. The protagonist seemed more cruel than ever. The screams rolled as Leo, me and Ride were ejected by him, some stayed on the floor, others shot themselves on the floor. I thought, this was heavy. Expelled. What was his name? One by one, they were expelled. Cynthia was boring with the protagonist, as was Lilith, who sent the can. You've already made 6 rivals leave today, right? Angry. Cynthia and Lilith stood on either side of them, drawing the attention of the enemy crowd. Closed. Thanks, Alan. I owe you this. The protagonist thought. Thanks to you. I will no longer be in doubt, no. Then he spoke in moral. I'll crush your head, and detonate this whole scenario. In the gym bedroom, Another mine was thrown on the bed. Complaint. Card, even if I'm not there, you have to stand your ground. I'm already at my limit. There were only 22 points for her. Begging. Someone, please give me a strength. So, what will be the future of this girl, who is only counting the days until she is expelled? And guys, did you enjoy the video? If you enjoyed, already activate the notifications and comments bell what you think. From now on, I'll probably make videos longer than these shorts. Thank you too much. Don't forget to subscribe.